The Hulk family is growing by the minute, with 2 more members of the family getting their introduction in a span of a little more than 2 months. And this could mean one thing: they are here to stay, and that we will see more of them, especially Skaar, one of the most powerful beings in the Marvel Universe. And I'm going to tell you exactly why, as well as all of the things about him that will blow your mind. Enjoy!
I have someone here that I'd like you all to meet. This is my son, Skaar.
As time passes by and members of the old guard are getting killed or go into retirement, new spots are being opened in the MCU for the next generation of superheroes, ones that will continue the legacy of their predecessors. And one of the newest additions to the MCU came through the She-Hulk Disney Plus series' first season finale, when Hulk introduced Skaar, the reason why Bruce Banner left Earth in the series on a Skaarian spaceship, the same ship that was the cause of Jennifer Walters' transformation into She-Hulk. Among the many surprises of the series, Skaar's arrival has to be on top of the list, not only because the Hulk family got bigger, but also because of what the character could mean for the future of the MCU, as well as the skill set that he brings along with him, which is also the reason why I am here to tell you all about it. Skaar only appeared for a few seconds in the live action, but that doesn't mean that I cannot turn towards his history in the comics, a complex one that, despite being short, is everything but sweet, solely because of the character's growth over 1.5 decades, ever since his first debut in the comic books way back in 2006. But worry not, there is plenty to say about the character, details about his origins, current adventures in the Marvel Universe, and all the storylines that he took part in, with each of them better and bigger than the previous ones that he lived through. All in all, Skaar is probably one of the strongest characters from the newer generation. And without further ado, let me dive right in and tell you all about the bits and pieces regarding Skaar that will blow your mind. Skaar first appeared in the Planet Hulk storyline, an arc created by Greg Pak and John Romita Jr., which centers around Hulk's banishment from Earth by the side of the Illuminati, which is followed by a 13-issue story that sees Hulk's conquer of planet Skaar, as well as his attempts to return to Earth and seek revenge. An adaptation of this storyline to some extent could be seen in the events of Thor Ragnarok, but the movie itself painted Hulk as a very different character than in the comics, which was weird back in the day when the movie was released. However, in today's world, we can see that all that could have been set up for what is coming, or what has come, Skaar, and his saying things. Skaar is an uncommon mix when it comes to his race, a child of a gamma-mutated human father, and a member of the Shadow People mother, a humanoid race living on several planets, including Skaar. The more interesting part about his race is their super strength, stamina, and the ability to hit that like button just like you should if you haven't done so already. But no, in reality, their ability to enhance themselves through their old power, a cosmic power used by the side of Galactus, the Planet Eater, and the only power he shares with his heralds who investigate planet's richness of materials, only for it to be deemed worthy of being eaten by Galactus himself. And as you might have guessed it, Skaar inherited all of his traits from his mother's side, as well as the pros and cons from the side of his father. And judging by what Skaar looked like in the live action, it is likely that he will be a member of the Shadow People in the MCU, with his tattoos being a clear indication of that. In the comics, the tattoos Skaar has on him are a cultural expression of the Shadow People. This could all just be a theory, seeing how the race has yet to be introduced in the MCU. That is, if Skaar is not the first piece of Marvel's puzzle towards an expansion of Marvel races in the MCU. Since Skaar is Hulk's son, and Hulk has a human form, Skaar also has a human form, something the comics have showcased. However, Skaar rarely uses his human form simply because it depowers him significantly. But lucky for us, and Marvel's issues with constant CGI, there is a chance that we could see Skaar's human form at some point. Skaar was also part of Norman Osborn's second incarnation of his super team, the Dark Avengers, but his stay was short because Skaar showed his true loyalty to Steve Rogers after the group arrested him, and Skaar was the one to free him. And it was at this moment that we learned that he worked as a double agent for Captain America. with Skaar's efforts against the Dark Avengers later on being the key for the new Avengers to win the battle in the war against Osborn. Outside of possessing all the qualities of a Hulk, he can also tap into the old power to manipulate the earth and stone of a planet, with his version of the old power that he has being a very unique one, simply because him being a hybrid, a man-made version of the power cosmic. And if this is also the case with the live-action MCU Skaar, then he could very well be one of the most powerful heroes of the MCU. Unlike the friendly approach the MCU picked for Skaar, he was not always on good terms with his father, who abandoned Skaar after judging his son wrongfully, something he seeks revenge for to make him pay for his bad parenting. Let's say Skaar's troublesome and hostile upbringing was what made him who he later became, one of the few people in the Marvel Universe able to overpower the Silver Surfer, Galactus's most famous and capable herald, all thanks to the old power that Skaar inherited from his mother's side. After arriving on Earth through a portal, being a character with only a few words, he picked a direction and started moving to complete his plan of taking revenge on his father, the Hulk. Along the way, Skaar took down a whole battalion of the US military that tried to stop him, the group Warbound, Sicarian refugees, as well as the Fantastic Four, who confronted him in the woods after his arrival. The entire group was not able to subdue him and escaped after Osborn dropped bombs on him that didn't actually hurt him. When Skaar first came face to face with the Hulk, it was actually Bruce Banner's human form he saw, and he decided to smash that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. However, on a more serious side of things, he decided not to attack him because he clearly is not the former king of Skaar, but rather an entirely different person. After which, Bruce decided to raise him, and he needed a sparring partner. This is where the Juggernaut came in. And after a few blows, Skaar hit the Juggernaut, one of the strongest mutants out there, and knocked him all the way into outer space. Yeah, he is that strong. There are a lot of incredible, nearly impossible achievements that Skaar has under his belt, and I would need a lot more time to tell you all about them. But this should be enough to show you just how strong he is and what his arrival in the MCU means. And while I am here, what about Skaar's future? What is the reason behind his debut in the MCU? Well, one of the most plausible things would be for him to star alongside the Hulk in a standalone movie, one that has been rumored for quite a while, a movie that would adapt a storyline from the comics, the Planet Hulk storyline, but with a few changes. Of course, something Marvel is keen on doing as witnessed throughout the years. Everything in order to fit Marvel's narrative of the MCU and where it's headed. Whatever the case may be, there is no doubt that Skaar will be a big part of the MCU's future, with him involved in more events than we can count. And as for his next appearance, in particular, following the events of the She-Hulk series, my educated guess tells me that we will probably see Skaar next in a project that tells of Bruce's unexpected return to Skaar. See you in the next video.